Ready?
All set.
I'm going to call to order a special meeting of the Wellington Board of Selectmen. Today is January 4th, 2021. Happy New Year and welcome back to all of you. The first item on our agenda is present to speak. If there is anyone not on the agenda, a member of the public who's on the line that would like to speak. I don't know who the phone number is. That may be Walter.
I'm not sure who that is.
You should have the ability to unmute yourself. So if you want to speak, now would be the time.
It's Walter.
It's Walter.
207.
Okay. Everyone knows. Okay. So with no one here present to speak, we'll move on.
Erica, if I may.
You may, John.
Before we start on the workshops here, did the Board of Finance usually issues a letter?
Nope.
No. Okay.
They really didn't even, at their last couple meetings, they haven't even mentioned it or any discussions about it. So I'm not sure what their thinking is. And what John's referring to is oftentimes they'll send a letter of guidance to budget writers with, kind of their thoughts. But no, there's been nothing that's been shared. Or that it even discussed that I could say to you, hey, look, we didn't get a letter, but they talked about this. So we will see if something different comes up in their January meeting on the 14th, next Thursday. All right, so we will start with revenue. And then I'm going to share my screen. Everyone see the Board of Selectmen agenda. So we'll start with Janice in the revenue department.
So a couple changes from last year anyway. Keeping office supplies at the same, roughly around that amount per year, the 5,000 per year. Training and education, it's based on Michelle and I both taking 2 classes this upcoming year. That would make me about done with mine, get her halfway through. QDS support, computer support went up a little bit. I built in another 100 just to cover any supplies we may need, be it validator tapes or ribbons for the validator machines. DMV fees going up a little bit. As we know, LexisNexis likes to increase about 3% per year, so I've built in enough to cover that. As we get to salaries, the assistant base is on a 2% raise through I can't think of what I want to say right now. 2% based on the normal raise they get with the
Union.
Yeah, thank you. The union. I just threw 2% on mine. Michelle's salary is also see highlighted there, giving her 45 weeks at her regular 18 hours a week, and then 7 weeks at 28 hours to cover for busy times when we were back open to the public and to cover for vacations and or classes when I'm out of the office.
Okay. The only thing that I will ask, and I know Donna is on the line, when we use these numbers, I'm going to suggest that we put in a 0 for salary.
Okay.
This would be a negotiation year, so there is no
Okay.
union contract moving forward. We did a 1-year extension, so we'll begin negotiations with the salary. So there is not a set dollar amount there. So for purposes of budgeting, we'll use the same salary, not knowing where we'll be.
Okay.
All right.
I was going to ask, you, why the 4% increase for the assistant?
No, it would have been a 2%. Usually the normal union contract, it looks higher because I have her 7 weeks at 28 hours to cover for the busy times in here. I may need her 5 days a week instead of just 3.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're increasing her hours. In other words.
No, no, she's always, her normal office hours are 18 a week.
Okay,
However,
22.
there is times, July, when we're open to the public, I may need her more days during the week to cover for the busier times.
In the past, prior to both Janice and Michelle being in those roles, when the assistant revenue collector was at 22 hours a week, there was still an increase in hours, correct me if I'm wrong, Donna, to allow for those busy times of year, those busy collections, to cover the office when the collector is on vacation, or in this case, out at classes. So I'm not sure if the math shows larger than 2%. John, I didn't do the math out.
well, the math actually shows about 4%,
Okay.
so.
And it could be based not on salary increase, but a difference in hours and making sure there's coverage for those hours. So
Right.
Janice, that collection period would encompass both the month of July and typically the month of January.
Correct.
Okay.
It used to be 22 hours a week.
Now it's 18.
Now it's 18, but you have 7 weeks where it's going to be 10 more hours.
Mhm.
So is that going to work out about the same as it would be at the 22 hours?
Donna, can you share if this year it was budgeted for the same 45 weeks at 18 and 7 weeks at 28? If Donna can hear us. I'm gonna go to my budget book from last year. Well, we wait to see if Donna is on the line with us.
Okay, I think I'm unmuted now.
Thank you.
Okay, so out of the 52 weeks in the year, 46 weeks are budgeted at 18 hours a week, and 7 weeks are budgeted at 28 hours a week. So 46 weeks plus 7 weeks is 52 weeks in a year.
Oh, that's 53.
Yep, 53.
So it should be
So,
45 and 7.
okay, 45 and 7. Yep, and 45 weeks is 18 hours a week. 7 weeks, 28 hours a week.
And that
And
looks
this-
like that's what she requested last year as well.
The 7 weeks are the weeks in the months of July plus January.
Okay. So typically, John, for our purposes, Donna will plug in those salary numbers based on that. So that we'll make sure it's with just those hours accounted for and not an increase in salary. And I believe Michelle was with us all of last year in her current role. So I would assume we would leave it at 23,139.
Okay, so you would move this year to 23,139?
Right, so what I'm saying is there is no there is no contract moving forward, right? So we asked for a 1-year extension last year with a 2% increase. We don't know what will be negotiated. So we will leave everything at 0 and move forward from there. So While some of our department heads may have included a wage increase, especially in those union positions, we will leave them at 0.
Okay. That sounds right.
I have a question on the computer support.
Yeah.
The question is for Janice. So you said $100 is the increase. So you have a budget this year of $88.10. So if you're going to increase it $100, it would be $89.10. And you have
91.
you have 9,180, which is a $370 increase. So my question is, did you want to increase it $370 or $100?
So the budget letter I got from QDS was $9,080. I bumped it another 100 from the QDS budget letter just to cover if we needed
Something extra.
validator, rolls or tapes for the printing.
Okay, very good.
Thank you. Any other questions on the revenue collector budget? Your postage, Janice, comes out of the TOB funds, is that
Yes.
correct?
Correct.
And Hartford current, that's, I assume, because we have to place legal notices.
Yeah, those are legal notices for the current. I priced out the Chronicle this year, and they were about $100 more per posting. So I just kept it with Hartford Current.
Yeah.
I know, I believe once again, there's, how far it gets in the legislative session, I don't know, but asking for some reconsideration of the statute that requires legal posting in a newspaper, in a printed newspaper. So we'll see if that has any effect.
That I would hope. By the way, I assume you have spell correct on your computer when you type this out. Current, COURANT.
Oh, it looks like just that under 2021 and 20.
Yeah, I
2022.
heard.
The rest of them look right. Oh, no, there's a
Blame
couple.
it on the spell correct. That's got me a few times too.
Okay, and I'm still sharing screen so you can all kind of see the documents that Janice provided for us. And the office supplies is $1,500 for Brinks. Janice, the entire amount of Brinks comes out of your budget, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And the revenue office is collecting and depositing all of the funds throughout the town departments. And so the Brinks doesn't carry just the tax, but also revenue dollars from other departments, including Selectmen, Parks and Rec, Town Clerk, land use, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Any other questions, Liza or John?
On DMV reporting feed, just refresh my memory. What does this cover?
So motor vehicles, the 250 to the motor vehicle is for their portal, their civils portal, which we go on and we can add or release delinquencies. So if someone pays their taxes, we can go on, remove them so they can go ahead and renew the registration. Excuse me. The LexisNexis is an address verification system that we've had. I think we got that when Lisa started here. It's gone up in price a bit, but it does help us locate quite a few people, and we've got incorrect addresses for bills.
2 years ago is when they really went up in price.
So when we help out the DMV, they charge us for the privilege, right?
There you go.
Okay.
Well, the LexisNexis helps us out by finding the correct address of someone to send them the bill, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So they don't tell DMV where they went, which is why we don't have a new address and
Well, we have to search.
we search for them. All right, Liza, any questions? Let's see.
All good.
right. All right, Janice, thank you so much.
All right, thanks.
All right, the next department, I'm gonna move down here to the assessor's budget.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Walter. All
So
right,
I too also put a 2% increase in the salary, so you'll roll those back.
okay. It looks-
And I do have a correction on one number right at the moment, and that's under current year fiscal 2022, 21-22 tax mapping. I just came in tonight to an email from Vim saying it was the same amount as last year, so not 5,400, 5,200. And one other correction I have on here, under assessor supplies, in the current year, I have 200 under civils, that's 250.
You need 250 now, not 200?
Right. They have an annual registration fee of 250. I thought it was 200.
Okay. And Walter, we were shared late this afternoon, and Selectmen, you should have each received it in an email. Looks like a detailed on the pricing for Vision or your the CAMA software.
Okay, so you want to go over that?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, because you're trying to match up the numbers to what I put in here, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So, let's see, the camera maintenance was 7146 with the website hosting for public access at 1759. You add the 7146 and the 1759, you come up with 8905. And then for Vision Cloud hosting, it's 2678 on the pricing, but with the property record card to PDF service is 450. If you add 450 to 2678, you come up with 3128.
And what is that PRC to PDF service? Is it something we get now?
So what happens is when you go on to our mapping website, you can, instead of having just some summary of the information, you can actually print the property record card.
Okay. But that's not new, correct?
That's not new.
Okay. And then your training education.
It's all the same from last year.
Can you tell me what new training there is that would be needed? I know your previous assistant had was still in taking courses and training.
So Joan is
How about what all
certified.
those- right, and you are.
And I'm certified. So we have certification credits every 5 years that we have to get 50 hours every 5 years. So we just put a little bit of money in there for the payment of those training hours. Because Joan's going to have to keep her certification going too.
Okay. So with those little compared to what your previous assistant was taking, there's no savings?
No,
Right, so it looks like the bulk of your decrease is due to a change in in assistant assessor.
right, because she
Alright.
came in at a lower rate.
Mhm. All right. Anything else you want to share with us?
No, these are the things that we need to operate the assessor's office.
Right, John or Liza? Any questions? It's pretty straightforward.
Well, again, I see a 2% salary increase on here. That would be going again from the
Yep, I started it off saying I put that in there and we, have to back that out, so.
We'll adjust for that. Okay. So it would be even a greater decrease to
Okay.
the overall budget
Right,
without those dollars.
right.
All right, any other
Because
questions?
that carries the majority of the budget items for this, it's more than 50%. So it's on a percentage basis, it gets weighted heavier.
All right. Seeing no further questions, I'll move on to building department.
Thank you
Jim,
very much.
thank you. I'm going to stop sharing because I don't have any new documents.
So the only increase the budget has an overall change of 2.7%. That is due to an increase in the light item for building permit system support, which is going from 10,850 to 11,168. That software has truly been a godsend for us this year. I'm not sure how we would have operated as well as we have, as seamlessly as if we have without the software. And we did, I think we did use it in Wellington for some dog licensing as well this year. We made that adaptation so that didn't have to be done in person.
And I don't have any documentation, Jim, from you, but there should be a salary increase for your salary. It's a negotiated, contracted service for Jim. It looks like he's frozen too. So wait for him to get back on the line. There you go.
So I didn't have the contract in front of me, Erica,
Okay,
but I guessed it was probably 3%. I'm not sure. And Josh was out last week, so I couldn't get a copy from him.
okay.
I'm not sure if you've got it handy or not.
I don't have it handy. Donna, do you have it handy?
I have it in the file.
All right, I'm going to try to look while we continue to speak.
Last year, building services were at 33,792. Increased that by 3% in this budget, assuming it wouldn't be higher than that. And that puts that at 34,806. The other line items in the budget are travel expenses. I kept that exactly the same at 1,400. Typically we're using most of that, but not all of it every year. So I think that's still a viable number. Building official general supplies, we've had it for a number of years at $2,050. I've kept that flat. And building official training expenses, I've kept that flat at $1,000. And dues and fees also flat at $300. So that the two increased line items would be for the contractual building official purchase services and the building permit support.
Okay. And unlike, I apologize while I try to get my Zoom screen back. Unlike, again, our staff and in a general increases, this was a negotiated contract between the town of Bolton and the town of Wellington for shared service or contracted service of building official. Yeah, I do remember, Jim, for several years, there was some controversy on whether or not we needed the software for building department. And boy, I know for sure we certainly couldn't have dealt with the last year that we've had, for sure not the first several months, if we didn't have that online permitting software. So it's it proved to more than earn its money in 2020, that's for sure.
So I think the one thing we do need to make sure of is that Donna has this spreadsheet. I shared it with her.
Okay.
We have to make sure that that number for the purchase services is accurate.
Right. I couldn't find it in a quick email search, so we'll look for that. Donna, can you share the spreadsheet that Jim shared with you with the selectmen?
Yes,
Thank
I
you.
will. The agreement that I have is through June 30th, 2020.
All right, we'll have to we definitely signed a new,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you extended that with
Yeah.
Joyce before she retired.
I did. Because it was up before. So let me take a look and see. What date was that signed, Donna?
This was signed in 2018.
Okay. That's why I'm looking for an email from Josh, and I believe it was done with.
I think it was with Joyce in August or September, about a year ago, 2019, I think.
All right. Any other questions?
So I'm not, I mean, I don't have
We didn't get it.
anything. Okay. So I mean, I'm more visual, so I don't have any questions at the moment, but without seeing it in front of me.
It's possible, Jim, at our next meeting, when we meet next Monday, we may have formulated some questions after we can take a look at what you sent to us.
Sure. Well, I only sent it to Donna. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Maybe I should have sent it to you as well. It's about I think it's about roughly it's about a $1,400 increase over last year.
All right, so when we take a look at that, folks, we may have questions as we begin to discuss all of our budgets. All right, see,
Yeah.
John, you have a question?
Yes,
Comment?
I just want to say, I think what Liza was saying, it was great with the revenue and the assessors because I could see what we were talking about. But here, I'm just hearing these numbers and I have no real idea what we're talking about. I think we must have the paperwork before these
Right.
meetings.
I will say to you that as you got from Heather sent to us from the departments that sent to her, we asked for the information because we needed anything that needed to be presented to us tonight has to be included in the agenda. So all she could give to you is what came into our office. So Jim gave right to Donna, and I didn't receive anything from Jenny either. So the next two, I don't have anything to share with you. Because it wasn't shared with my office.
Okay, I understand that,
So
but
we reached out to the departments and we, had to file our agenda before we got the information. So,
And unfortunately, I was left off that email. I didn't get the original email. I only found out about this meeting about a week ago. I didn't get the information. Somehow you're also
you're breaking up on us a
I
little
said
bit,
when I-
Jim. So hopefully we don't have this problem going forward and that folks will, be able to get them to us. Donna, if someone sends you their spreadsheet, can you forward it on to be sure that we have it in the selectman's office?
Yes, I would do that. So
Our
I-
normal process is that they would share it with Donna,
Right.
and then we typically get a paper copy at our meetings. So this is definitely a new way of us going through budget season. So I didn't anticipate it would be perfectly smooth. I hoped, but we will get the paper, written documents so that you can take a look at them. I've got a lot of notes, but it'll make a lot more sense to me and be a lot more clear if I can see it all together.
Yeah, so check your inbox. I just sent you Jim Rupert's, but not to Liza because I couldn't find her email fast in my address book. But Erica and John, you have it, and I will send Jenny's on to you in a minute.
Okay.
It's
I will go ahead
Algorithm.
and share my screen so you guys can, you folks can take a look at what it was Donna just sent to me. Okay. Except we're gonna try. Okay. Can you see the whole screen here?
I can, yes.
All right, so this is what Jim was talking, line 5 was a 2.9% increase on the building permit support. No change in travel expense, the increase in the purchase service, and we'll double check that is accurate. And no other change in general supplies, training, education, or dues, fees, and memberships. So the bulk of that increase is coming from permit software. Well, all of it is coming from permit software and the purchase service line item. And Liza, I'll forward this to you so you can have it.
I did get it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I printed myself a copy. All right.
Anybody have any questions I can answer?
No, but it helps to see this.
Yeah. The visual definitely helps. Any other questions, John or Liza? All right. Now, that's not to say we won't going forward, Jim, but we'll take a look. So we'll take a look at the contract and make sure that we have the most up-to-date number in there.
Perfect.
All right. Let's stop sharing. And that brings us to human services.
I'm going
So
to say right then, thank you.
thank you, Jim. Have a good night.
Thank you, Jim.
You're
Although,
welcome.
oops. One second, I'm looking.
So first of all, I'd like to preface this by saying that I did send a copy of my budget to Donna, Erica, John, and Liza on Tuesday, the 29th at 8:44 a.m. So I apologize if there was some kind of mix up and the email for whatever reason didn't go through. I know we've had some issues with our internet, perhaps that's it. But I just wanted to let you know that I did try and share it with everybody, so I apologize for the disconnect.
Okay.
I also would like to say that I did include the 2% increase in my budget, as I didn't know I shouldn't. So we will have to change some numbers around. In terms of my budget, and what I had said in the email was that I was still waiting to hear back from TVCCA and WRTD regarding their fiscal year funding requests. I never heard back from either of them, so I used last year's numbers. Now, the number that I had for 2020, 2021 for Dial-A-Ride was 18,172. And after I created that budget, they sent me their request. They do this every year, and it's an ongoing issue with them. So when I created this budget, I used what they had requested after I had turned in last year's budget.
Okay.
So that's where I got the 2.5% increase. We could assume that they want an additional 2.5 to that number, but I didn't put it in my budget because they didn't tell me. As I had stated earlier, the 2% increase on my salary and the assistant salary is going to be dialed back. And going forward, I pretty much tried to cut where I could. I have my fundraising revenue pretty low because at the time that I did the budget, I didn't think I would be able to have a lot of success with fundraising in the coming fiscal year due to COVID and all that goes along with that. I think that that's a pretty prudent number. I probably could do better than that, but I left it where it is. And that's pretty much it. Any questions?
No, so I'm curious at why your salary increases are at 4%.
They should be at 2%.
Okay.
Oh, it says
Am I not over enough?
Let me see. I'm sorry, I'm on my phone.
So there are two columns that
So,
say
yes,
fiscal year
so that's-
2021. I assume that last one, it should be 21, 22.
Correct. That's correct,
Okay.
because yes, that's right. And that should be 2%.
All right. I'm gonna see if this will let me change it. Just so we can, interesting. I don't know what the formula is in here, but it's still.
Yeah, my formulas that were all wonky.
Yeah, because even using the same number, it shows a 2% increase.
Yes.
Oh, I know why. I don't know. All right. And the payroll benefits will be different. Yeah, you know, Jenny, there's no telling what you could do for fundraising. It's so difficult without being able to do in person. And it takes
Exactly. And it's
certainly
so
takes a
difficult
lot
to
of work
do
to be able to do online.
Mm-hmm. So we'll have to see. You know, it's hard to tell. You know, we're planning for, 6 months in the future. During these unprecedented times, we don't know what that's going to look like.
Right. You know, as the vaccine begins to roll out, we hope that there might be a slight shift in behaviors come summertime, but there's really no way to tell currently. So in this last stimulus package did not include funds to towns or cities. So, or state or local government. I mean, there's just no funds there for local government. So that could change after the new administration takes their seats. We'll see if, a new legislature means some assistance to towns and cities moving forward. All right. TVCCAs typically stay about the same, Jenny?
Yes, they're usually about the same every year. They're usually pretty good about it. And if they have a request, they usually provide it to me in a timely fashion.
Okay. If something comes through here, we'll be sure to share it. All right, so Jenny's funding is a grant fund. So it's included in the selectmen's budget, but they present separate from our budget to the Board of Finance. No, I don't think I said that right, did I, Donna? It's in the overall government budget, but not in the selectmen's budget. Is that correct, Donna?
That's correct.
Okay. All right. John, is that your buddy?
That's my girl. He who must be barked at is outside, I think.
Aha. All right. Does anyone have any questions or comments for Jenny? So I apologize. It looks like we all missed that email from you, although I can see it right in my inbox. I don't
It
even
probably
recall.
was one of those internet outages.
Yeah, and I don't even recall seeing it. So yeah. If you could take a swipe at the numbers for salary and then send it to us again, that would be great.
I'd be happy to.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Any, seeing no further questions, that's the last item on our budget workshop agenda. We're not done for the evening. We have a 6:30 regular meeting. Any other budget related questions? All right. I know hopefully this time, I know we talked about this before, this time next year we'll be able to look at this in a uniformed format using our new financial software. But with the rollout and the timing this year, it was just not possible for Donna to get that up and going and any of us trained. There's not enough Donnas and not enough hours in the day with COVID going on. So seeing no further discussion on budgets, I would make a motion to adjourn at 6:12 p.m.
Second.
Seconded by Liza. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, there is a separate meeting. You can stop the recording, Heather. There's a separate meeting link for